Alright, what's going on everyone? It is Super here and welcome to another Injustice 2 video. Today I have another Q&A video for you guys. You guys left a lot of questions on the last one, plus the ones that I already had, so don't worry guys, these Q&A videos will not stop anytime soon. But I am trying to keep them to a minimum, maybe once a week, for both MK and Injustice. So if you guys do enjoy the Q&A videos, make sure you guys leave a like on the video. Also, write down your question down below. If I have answered it already, I'll reply to your question, or someone else will reply to your question. And if I haven't answered it, it means that it's probably backlogged. So let's start off here. Oh, by the way, I just want to mention that I have been getting a lot of questions about what the hell is going on with the new Injustice character reveals. Why haven't there been any reveals for new characters? And I think that the reason for that is because there is this voice actor strike. I forgot what the strike was called. I'm so sorry. But a lot of voice actors are going on strike with the companies they work for because you know, they don't get treated the way they should be treated, because you know, a lot of executives, or you know, one of the high ups in companies say that voice acting doesn't matter, that voice acting don't like make or break games, you know. And in my opinion, what the fuck else is going to make or break a game than the people acting out as the characters who they're playing, you know what I mean? So voice acting is the most important thing, or what, I don't want to say the, because obviously the animation, you know, the atmosphere, all that good stuff, but voice acting is an incredibly important part of any video game. And the fact that, you know, these voice actors are getting treated unfairly and you know, not getting paid what they deserve really sucks. So I do understand that, but I think that's one of the big reasons right now why we haven't seen any new character reveals for Injustice 2. Probably because, you know, maybe one of the voice actors that's going on strike was voice acting one of the characters that was going to get revealed. Who knows? But I think that might play a factor as to why we haven't gotten any new reveals. So of course, any new information or anything, I'll let you guys know. I'll make videos on it, etc, etc. So let's get started here. First question comes from Brian, and he asks, why is it that people think Deadshot, Deathstroke, and Red Hood cannot make it into the same game when Mortal Kombat X has Cassie Cage, Jackie Briggs, Jax, Aaron Black, which all have at least one gun/weapon based variation? So that's actually a pretty good question. I think the reason why a lot of people don't think that Deathstroke, Deadshot, and Red Hood would fit in the same game is because there isn't a variation system in Injustice 2. It's just a straight up character. And you know, the difference between Mortal Kombat X and Injustice, like I mentioned, is the variation system. So you have characters like Cassie that has a Spec Ops variation where her whole game plan is to call in missiles that hit overhead or low. You have Jackie Briggs, who has a variation that restands you in shotgun. You have Jax with a heavy weapons variation that you could run cancel. You know, the wrestler one is command grab based. And you have Aaron Black with, you know, 3 different variations. So the games are different. You can't really compare those 2 games. But for the 3 characters in Injustice, you know, Deadshot and Deathstroke, even though I think that Deathstroke has a lot more versatility when it comes to playstyle, the characters would play very similarly to each other. Same thing with Red Hood. So I wouldn't say that they don't have a chance of being in the same game or making it, or all of them making it. But I think the Deathstroke and Deadshot playstyle is too similar to put in the same game. I think now that Deadshot is in Injustice 2, I think Red Hood does have a really good chance of making it. So I think, you know, that one is out of the question. But as far as Deathstroke, him and Deadshot have too similar playstyle to potentially make it into the game that doesn't have like a variation, so you could maybe switch up one of their game styles and play them differently, you know. So hope that answered your question. So moving on here, next question comes from Mafia, and he asks, if I had to leave out one of the Gotham Sirens from Injustice 2, who would it be? So this is a hard choice. You know, Harley Quinn already in the game. obviously my favorite female comic book character, Poison Ivy and Catwoman. Which one would I leave out? And to me, the answer is the one I think will be left out of Injustice 2, because I do think Poison Ivy will eventually make it into Injustice 2. I don't know if she's going to be a main character in the 20 character roster or DLC down the future. So I think that I would go with the same picks that NetherRealm might go with. So obviously Harley Quinn is going to be in Injustice 2. I would put in Poison Ivy and I would leave out Catwoman. For you Catwoman fans, I'm sorry, but she was in the first Injustice. You know, her playstyle is not bad. I think I played her in the Star Labs, and she was pretty easy to pick up. So, you know, she was pretty fun, but she had her moment in the limelight. I think a lot of people really want to see some Poison Ivy and the way she is portrayed, you know, in a fighting game that looks as good as Injustice 2. And as creepy in Harley Quinn's case, you know, during some facial shots. You know, I think Poison Ivy would be a perfect character for Injustice 2. So I would definitely leave out Catwoman. Moving on here, Eric's asks, would you like to see Katana or Sub-Zero if a Mortal Kombat character was to make it into the game? And Eric's, there will 100% be at least one Mortal Kombat. I wouldn't be surprised if there was 2 Mortal Kombat characters in Injustice 2. And I think one of them will for sure be Sub-Zero, just because they put Scorpion in the last one, so it just makes sense to have the other poster boy of Mortal Kombat in Injustice to promote not only Mortal Kombat, but, you know, for fans who might only like Mortal Kombat, you know, they could go out and buy Injustice just to play with Sub-Zero. A lot of people would definitely do that, and a lot of people probably did do that for Injustice and Scorpion. So I think Sub-Zero is a given, and if they have 2, I think maybe Raiden. It has to be like one of the huge characters. It might be a female character, so if it's a female character, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Melina. She's like the most popular female Mortal Kombat character. So moving on here, John asks, do you think Mr. Freeze should be in the game? Yes, John, I definitely think Mr. Freeze 100% should be in the game instead of the other guy, Captain Cold. I'm sorry, I'm not a too big of a fan of Captain Cold, but I definitely think that they should have put in Mr. Freeze instead of Captain Cold. But they might have a lot more Batman villains in Injustice 2 that we haven't, or that we don't know about yet, so maybe that's why they didn't want to have yet another one in Mr. Freeze be in the game. But if I had the choice, I would definitely choose Mr. Freeze over Captain Cold. So moving on here, Devil asks, do you think Injustice 2 could implement the Flashpoint story into Injustice storyline? I'm not sure if they're gonna go that route with the Injustice story. I think the Injustice story is, you know, set in its own universe. The writer is actually currently working right now on the story, and I think incorporating something like Flashpoint would they would have to really pay a lot of attention to the Flash. And I think with at least, you know, maybe in the comic books, because obviously they could write many different comic books and just go a lot more in depth in the story. But as far as like the video game, they only have so much time to go between character to character. And if they're gonna go in the same route as they did with the first Injustice, where it's, you know, one character per chapter and stuff, it's gonna be hard to incorporate that into like the video game. But who knows, maybe something like that does happen. Boss Man asks, do you think Batgirl has a chance of making it into Injustice 2? And honestly, Boss Man, I do not think that Batgirl has a well, I don't want to say that I don't think she has a chance. I don't think she's going to make it, but I do think she has a very, 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 very slight chance of making it. I would love to see her in Injustice, because she was for sure one of the most fun characters in the first Injustice, and I would love to play her. You know, she's definitely one of my favorite characters to play in Injustice. So having her return with her same play style, just maybe toned down, you know, a lot, because she was one of the top 3 characters in the game for sure. She was ridiculous. So they toned her down quite a bit, but they kept her same playstyle. She would be a lot of fun in Injustice 2. I would love to see her, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Moving on here, the gaming legend asks, do you think that Solomon Grundy could make it into Injustice 2? This is another one that, after playing Grundy, I could definitely see the fun in using him, but unfortunately I think there's going to be too many other big characters that NetherRealm would go for instead of Grundy. So I do not think that he has a chance of making it into Injustice 2. Beaster asks, do you think they will add a Mortal Kombat character for DLC like Scorpion? Yes, I actually answered this question. It was just backlogged. See, I haven't checked these questions out in a bit. But yeah, I definitely think Sub-Zero will be a DLC character from MK to Injustice 2. I wouldn't be surprised if they have like Molina or Katana, another character in there from Mortal Kombat as well. So let's see, the last one here, the Joker asks, why do you think DLC characters have no chance to return? Well, Joker, the reason is because if DLC characters were in the first Injustice and they don't make it into the 28 character roster, NetherRealm will not have the same character as DLC for 2 games in a row. So I'm talking about DLC characters from the first Injustice have no chance of making it into Injustice 2 as DLC again, but that doesn't mean they can't make it in the 28 character roster. But if they don't make it into the 28 character roster, then they have no chance of making it as DLC for 2 games. You know what I mean? So that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's Q&A video, and I will see you guys next time.